So anybody telling you he doesn't give money in politics is a liar. Presidential election is not for boys, it's for men. In 2027, I will no longer want to hear a candidate telling me that in this primary, I won't participate because it is dollarized. It's either you are able as a leader to influence your followers through inspiration, to convince them to vote for you, despite the fact that you didn't give them money. That is part of leadership. Or step aside. Because fighting an incumbent is different from fighting when there is no incumbent. The incumbent have the resources of the state. He has the security forces of the state. And then you're saying, oh, give me tickets in the primary. Oh, these people will outspend you. And you want to go to a new party where they will give you the ticket. And when they give you the ticket, you will go and waste it.
Less of whether Peter Obi leaves the party or not, because there are whispers out there that he might leave.
Well, if he leaves, will he now be a mobile squatter? No, anybody, any presidential aspirant in ADC, seeing what everybody is going through in ADC, that leaves ADC for another party. One, he's a mobile squatter. Then two, he is working for Tinubu. Because if all the coalition leaders are facing through all this crisis, even with the unity, then what do you think one person can do going out? Anybody that goes out of the coalition is compromised and is working for Tinubu, whoever that person is.
If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Something is breaking inside Nigeria's opposition, and this time, it is not the APC doing the breaking. The ADC, the coalition that was supposed to bring hope for 2027, is tearing itself apart from the inside. Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso are reportedly on their way out. And one man has decided to say out loud what many are only whispering. If you walk out of that coalition, you are only working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That man is Kenneth Okonkwo, lawyer, Nollywood star, and one of the most vocal voices to have come out of the Labour Party movement. Speaking on Channels Television, Sunrise Daily, Okonkwo did not miss a single word. He said, and I quote, "If he leaves, will he now be a mobile squadron?" He asked, directing his words squarely at Peter Obi. Anybody, any presidential aspirant in ADC, seeing what everybody is going through in ADC, that leaves ADC for another party. One, he is a mobile squatter. And two, he is working for Tinubu. He then went even further, making it a universal verdict. Anybody that goes out of the coalition is compromised and is working for Tinubu, whoever that person is. Let that sink in. Kenneth Okonkwo is not saying Peter Obi secretly wants Tinubu to win. He is saying that in practical political terms, abandoning the coalition at this stage, when the opposition is already under pressure from lawsuits, leadership crisis, and INEC deadlines, is indistinguishable from that sabotage. Because if all the coalition leaders are facing through all this crisis, even with unity, then what do you think one person can do going out? It is a cold, calculating argument, and it is hard because there is some truth in it. But what has brought things to this point? The ADC has been a house on fire almost since its door opened to the opposition. The crisis deepened after the Supreme Court vacated an earlier injunction which had removed Senator David Mark and Rauf Areboshala as National Chairman and National Secretary of the ADC respectively. But the Apex Court did not resolve the substantive leadership dispute, returning the matter instead to the Federal High Court. In other words, the Supreme Court passed the hot potato back down. Nobody knows who legitimately runs this party, and INEC deadlines looming for membership register submission. The clock is working against everyone, still inside the ADC tent. The Kwankwasia movement spokesperson confirmed the planned move, revealing that the decision was described as sealed after a gathering of stakeholders at Kwankwaso's Kano residence, with discussions with NDC reportedly about 90% complete. Kwankwaso himself, perhaps trying to slow down the narrative, issued a statement saying no final decision had been taken and that consultations were ongoing with leaders of the ADC, the People's Redemption Party, and other groups to explore viable options. But his own supporters were already handing in their resignation letters at their ward office. Buba Galadima, a close ally of Kwankwaso, told participants at an Obi Kwankwaso Unity Summit in Abuja that both men would announce their new party platform on Monday. That announcement is days away as you watch this. The Obedient Movement National Coordinator, Yunusa Tanko, moved to calm supporters, saying Obi was still consulting and that any eventual decision will align with the vision of building a new Nigeria. It is the language of a camp preparing to move but not yet ready to say so publicly. And what is driving all of this beneath the surface? Sources close to both camps point not just to court cases and legal chaos, but to real political wound. Atiku Abubakar's refusal to step down and his insistence on contesting what is widely seen as his final shot at the presidency has effectively stalled internal negotiations and fractured the fragile alliance built to challenge President Bola Tinubu. One senior figure in the Kwankwasia movement said it plainly: the real issue has always been the presidential ticket. Sources in the Obi's camp allege that Atiku and his loyalists had lured their leaders into the ADC to fulfill one single mission: Atiku's presidential ambition. If that is even half true, then the ADC was never the opposition coalition. Nigerians thought it was. It was Atiku's vehicle, dressed up as everybody's vehicle. Now the ADC is scrambling. A source close to Obi's camp told the Punch that the party structure appeared skewed in favor of an aspirant, warning that if the party was not willing to zone its presidential ticket to the south, and its primary was not credible, Obi had concluded the platform was not formidable enough for his ambitions. Those are the words of a man who had made up his mind and is now constructing the justification. Nigerians on social media are reacting with everything from heartbreak to ridicule. One user lamented, "That means we'll all wasted our time because a divided opposition can never win an election in Nigeria." Another was blunter. In all this, Kwankwaso is obviously using innocent Peter for his 2031 leverage. But the naive Peter does not see the pattern. Some obedience refused to blink. One declared, "If Peter Obi decides to leave ADC today, I won't even ask him why. I will simply pick up my bag and walk beside him." And that loyalty, stubborn, unconditional, willing to follow the man across any party platform, is precisely what makes this moment so dangerous for the broader opposition project. Because here is the uncomfortable question that Kenneth is really asking. Even if he's not phrasing it this way, at what point does a politician's personal ambition become the opposition collective liability? Peter Obi has now been in ABGA, PDP, Labour Party, ADC, and is reportedly headed to the NDC. Kwankwaso has moved from APC to NNPP to ADC to now potentially NDC. Every time these men walk out of the one structure, they take their supporters with them, but they leave behind the organizational work, the legal battles, and the broken promises made to those who stayed. And every time the opposition fractures, the APC and Asoro goes to sleep a little more comfortably. Kenneth Okonkwo's words were sharp, maybe too sharp for some, but the underlying arithmetic is not wrong. A split opposition in 2023 handed Tinubu the presidency with 37% of the vote. If the ADC collapses before 2027 and the anti-Tinubu vote scatters between ADC, NDC, Labour Party, remnants, and whatever else emerges, history will repeat itself and Tinubu will not even need to break a sweat. The real question is not whether P2B is working for Tinubu. The real question is whether Nigeria's opposition leaders are capable of placing the country above themselves. So far, the answer does not look encouraging. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and drop your thoughts below. Are you still backing P2B wherever he goes, or has the party hopping gone too far? I love to read from you in the comment section. Until I see you on the next video, remain blessed.